Okay, we are live. And if you have any comments, if you have any questions, I would love for this to be interactive. And I really appreciate you and I want to connect with you. So, our topic today is change your perspective. Now, so many people have been going through an experience they've never had before. And a lot of people are feeling very frustrated or angry or fearful, just so many different things. And you don't have to be there. You don't have to have that emotion that's going to pull you down and lower your vibration. And if you can begin to shift the way you see things, everything around you is going to shift. And it's a matter of, well, there's several things we can do. And I know I have some people on, and so I want to ask you, what are some things that you do to shift your perspective? If you're feeling a little down or you're upset, what do you do? What are some of the things? So I know I have Aura Gold on, and I have some other people. So if you have any thoughts as to what to do to shift your perspective and you want to share it with other people on our broadcast, which will be shared again and again over Facebook, let me know. Just post it in the chat below. So, of course, this is about shifting our perspective, but it could also be called called a change in perception, because very often we perceive things are happening to us, but with a shift of perception, we might recognize that they're happening for us, that these are what could be perceived as something negative could actually be something positive. So we see we have a comment. Okay. And yeah, hi, Aura. And hi, Paul. It's really lovely to have you here. If you have any thoughts on how you can change perceptions and perspectives that you'd like to share, please post it in the chat. So if you want to change your mood, you can do that instantaneously just by putting on some music and dancing or singing along. Just the movement and the music will elevate you. But that's just one thing. If you're perceiving that you're hurt or you've been victimized, then perhaps there are other ways that you can shift your perspective. Because the first thing is you can ask yourself, is this even true? Is it true that I'm being victimized, or am I just being a victim of my own thoughts? And when you start to ask yourself questions, then things are going to shift for you. So, hi, Dusty. Nice to see you here. Nice to see my homies and my peeps from the World Miracle Peace Experiment. So, another question to ask yourself is, do I have an emotional charge on what's happening? Is there something going on here that is affecting me emotionally? And very often you can just shift that by recognizing, oh, look at this. I have a charge on this. And you can kind of go up and look down from 35,000 feet and look down and just say, well, look at this. It's not such a big deal after all. Aura Gold says, I usually do the tapping and big breaths and put a smile on my face. And this helps me to feel calmer in the moment. Yeah, that's a really good thing. Well, first of all, putting a smile on your face, you're taking action, and it doesn't have to be a big action, but it does make a difference. And also, Paul is saying, Paul's aunt, when we go through those trials, it's just preparing us in a way to deal with what's going on now. Yes, it's true. But here's the thing, I find, and this is a lesson from A Course in Miracles, that all things are lessons God would have me learn. It's just a wonderful way of saying that we're in school here, and everything that we choose to deal with, that we choose to experience and grow from, moves us into a higher state of growth. And so when we recognize that everything that's happening is a lesson, it's an opportunity for us to grow, and we get all of these different opportunities that we may not appreciate at the time, but truthfully, they're good. They're really wonderful because they enable us to move into a higher place for ourselves, and they enable us to grow into our bigger selves, which is a wonderful thing. And another thing that we can do is to help others. Whenever I'm on my weekly meditation and conversation, or being here and I'm having a conversation with you guys, it always uplifts me. I feel really wonderful because I feel like there is this connection that's going on between us. And it's an opportunity for me to share and for you to share. And I find that very uplifting, at least for me. I always feel so happy when I finish the broadcasts and the meditations. It's just, it's a wonderful thing. And another thing that I think is really important, a way to shift your perspective is to eliminate the word should. Do you find yourself shoulding all over yourself? You don't want to do that. Should is a word that you can absolutely eliminate from your vocabulary because it's really not necessary. It's making you feel that you have to do something. That's another thing to eliminate. When you recognize, you that you're doing something and you're feeling this, you're doing it out of an obligation and it feels heavy, where is there another way you can look at it? What's the silver lining there? And I find that asking that question, is there another way I can see this experience? Is there another way that I could look at this and maybe it's positive? Maybe I'm going to get something positive out of taking out the trash or doing the dishes. Maybe I'm learning a way of creating more neutrality in my life to recognize that, okay, I don't have to see this as a burden. I can see this as an opportunity to grow. And when you do that, you do start to grow. So I'm just checking to see if there's anybody making any comments because I really want to hear what you have to say. I know everybody here is just brilliant and you have some wonderful perspectives on things that can help us shift our perspectives. Now, our perceptions appear to be true. You think you can trust your senses because you're seeing something or you're hearing something or you're feeling something. But what if they aren't really accurate? So there's always a different way to look at something. And I find that our beliefs very often color our perceptions. And so when we see something through a particular filter, it's like you're wearing sunglasses and you're seeing things through that particular filter, then that filter may make you feel bad. It may make you feel like something's wrong. But what if you could see things through a different filter? What if you could see things through a different belief system? A belief system that enables you to see through love glasses. So everything that you're seeing now, instead of feeling like, oh, that person insulted me, or that, I'm being victimized right here. Maybe if you just stepped back, took a breath, and asked, how can I see this another way? Now, I always find that God, source, the universe, is right there for us. And if we ask, is there another way I can see this? There usually is. And we can choose to see things as an opportunity rather than a burden or something that's negative for us. So, another thing that I find really helps me is to shift into a place of gratitude. I don't always wake up. Most of the time, I wake up and I'm really, coming from a happy place and filled with gratitude, but not always. I'm human. And when I recognize, what is this? Is there another way I can look at this? Is there something I need to know? The answer will usually pop into my head. And then I can look at it a different way and I can release what it is. There are a lot of different tools we have to release emotions. And emotions are wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really important that we have our emotions. And when they are flowing freely, it's like they're like clouds. They flow in, they flow out, and we might have a thunderstorm, but it's not something that's going to hang around, because that's what the way emotions are generally. But sometimes they get trapped, and they get trapped because of something that may have happened that was traumatic. And it's something that's happening now can trigger something that was traumatic in the past. But what a golden opportunity to release that. So, there are many, many, many tools to release anything that you no longer want. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm here for you. I'm really happy to help. And in fact, I promised you guys that we would have an exercise today that would help us to shift our perspective. Now, I never plan these in advance, whether it's a meditation. I just really trust that whatever needs to be said is going to come through me. And as a result, it's going to be whatever is perfect in the moment. And so here's what I'm going to suggest. Let's all close our eyes and let's just start to breathe together. Just inhaling all the way down into your belly and exhaling all the way out again through your nostrils. And as you're inhaling, just imagine that you are inhaling a beautiful cloud of love. And you're just inhaling this love all the way down into your belly. And you're exhaling any stress, anything that's been bothering you. Just a beautiful, easy way to shift your perspective in the moment. Inhaling love and peace and joy. Just feel it, and feel it going into every one of your cells. And exhaling anything that's not love or peace or joy. Just let it flow all the way out. Now, we're very, very powerful beings. We are filled with love. We are pure spirit. But when we focus on our physical form, very often we forget that part of us. And that part of us, the spirit part of us, is so much bigger. The physical part is perhaps 1% of what we really are, of who we really are, that connection that we have to source. So the first thing is to recognize that I have a choice. I can choose love. I can choose peace. I can choose joy. And just ease into that feeling and recognize what happens to your being within your physical form when you say, I choose love. I choose peace. I choose joy. You feel that? You can also say, I am love. I am peace. I am joy. Both of these are very, very powerful because they are demonstrating who you are. And when you notice that you may be feeling upset or fearful, maybe you want to look at a particular behavior. So just spend a moment right now and just inhale that love and peace and joy, and exhale any stress or fear. Just taking a moment to breathe can shift everything. Just going outside in nature can shift everything. We don't have to stay in a negative feeling. We take responsibility for who we are and what's happening in our lives. So as we are here all together with our eyes closed, just let yourself lift out of your body. It's very safe. Just let yourself expand. This spiritual part of you, just let it expand and lift up out of your home and lift up high, high, high in the sky, looking down at the trees, at the houses, at the tiny people below. And just know that you're always safe. And as you lift up, you continue to expand and expand and expand. And you notice that suddenly you are bigger than your whole city. And as you're expanding, you're lifting up. And so you notice now that you're just as big or even bigger than your state. And you're bigger than your country. So just notice what it feels like to be in this place of being expanded, of being in your spirit form, in your awareness form, where you have no limits at all. And you recognize that you are pure love, limitless joy, limitless peace. Just notice what it feels like. Feel that feeling. And now you're bigger than the earth. And we're all joined together in this beautiful spirit form. It's a form of pure awareness. Just notice what that feels like. We're a collective power. It feels really yummy. And you're still expanding and extending love. As you expand, just notice that the love within you is intensifying, the joy within you is intensifying, the peace within you is intensifying. Ah, yes. Let that expand. And notice that as you've been expanding, the earth is receding. It has become very, very small, and you're still expanding. And you notice the solar system. You're seeing other planets, but they're so small in comparison to who you are. And you're still expanding. You're bigger than the sun. And you're still expanding, and you're just surrounding the earth, the solar system, the sun with all of this love. The more love that you extend, just notice how much more is coming back as you continue to expand and expand and expand, and bigger than the whole Milky Way. Wow. We have no limits. We are amazing. We've been kept focused on feeling limited. hunkered down in our homes, feeling maybe a little fearful, tapped into all of these things that are affecting our physical form. But on the spiritual level, there are no limits. And you can bring this back with you, but we're going to continue to expand, and we are bigger than the whole universe. Bigger. And now, if there's something that has been a problem, from this perspective, look down at what has been the problem. Maybe it's that you're feeling claustrophobic in your home. Maybe the lack of a regular routine is affecting you. But look at it from this perspective. It's a whole different perspective. And doesn't everything seem so much smaller? So let's come back into our physical form. And we can do that in an instant. And then wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and come right back. And I see that Aura Gold has said, I also do laughing yoga, where I say, this person said this and did this to me, or whatever. So what? Ha, ha, ha. And I laugh it off. So that's very cool. And she said that works really well for her to calm down. That's a beautiful thing. Yes, laughter and is part of joy, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing. And there's just so many things that we can do. The worst thing that we can do in the moment is to let yourself feel that you don't have a choice. I was trying to think of his name. There was a guy many years ago who was diagnosed with a condition that he was just given a couple of weeks to live. So he locked himself in a hotel room and just focused on funny movies and laughing and comedians and all kinds of funny things. Norman Cousins. And he lived for many, many years because he changed his perspective. We all can do this. And anytime someone tells you something, and it can be a doctor, and that so many times that their diagnoses are not correct. Sometimes they are, very often they are, but do we have to really accept what we're told, or can we ask for a different vision, a different perspective? Anyway, those are my thoughts. And if you guys have any more thoughts or any questions, write them in the comments below. And I am here. I'd love to answer them. I didn't want to tie up too much of your day, but I'm here and I'm available for questions and comments. Can always just reach out and message me. I'm here for you. And I send so much love and so much peace and so much joy. You deserve it. Just recognize, I deserve this. I'm not going to should all over myself. I'm not going to focus on what's wrong. I'm going to focus on what's right. Because when you look at what's right, there's so many positive things that are happening now. The ozone layer is healing over the earth. The air is clear over Los Angeles. The waterways are clear in Venice. The earth is healing. The greenhouse gases dropped 8%. These are all wonderful, positive things. And I think also getting a different perspective, take a moment every day and just ask, what can I do differently today? Even just changing a habit, moving everything from your bottom drawer to your top drawer and switching it around makes you think. Or getting in the shower and cleaning yourself in a completely different formula than you usually do, a different way of doing it. Like if you usually start like scrubbing your right arm, then start with your left or your leg, just change things up and do it differently. And sometimes it's good to have a routine, but it's also good to change up your routine too. So, with that in mind, I love you. And I think I just saw Dusty said thank you. Oh, thank you, Dusty. You are too. She said I'm beautiful inside and out. Thank you so much. I love you guys. And please stay in touch with me. I'm here for you. And this is a regular thing. Something is always going to be happening at 5 o'clock Eastern live broadcast. There will be a meditation or an exercise attached, always. So you can trust that. So much love. And I will see you next Sunday at 5 Eastern.